Aloha kakayaka. Good morning, everybody, and on this pleasant Saturday from Skyridge High School here in Lehigh, Utah. Welcome to the Rewind Sports Network's coverage of the All-State Falcon Classic and this special presentation of Copper Hills basketball presented by Ken Garff Automotive Dealers. Today we kick off the final day as the Westlake Thunder face off against the Copper Hills Grizzlies. And joining me finally get a broadcast partner today. Joining me today, Tyler Gibb, alongside me, Alexander Timolip here at Skyridge High School. So, Tyler, welcome back. It's been way too long since we did a game together, first of all. But second of all, I turn to you. The first thing I say is an interesting matchup here today between these two 6A teams. One's coming off a really heart-wrenching loss the night before. The other is coming off a really testy win the night before. What stands out as the difference between these two teams so far?
Yeah, it is great to be back with you, first of all, and it's exciting to have this matchup. It's kind of the first Saturday we turned from college football, and football has kind of been the focus on Saturdays. Now we finally get a kind of focus on basketball with the conference tournaments ending last week. So when we started off our basketball day with Copper Hills and Westlake, and both teams come in just one win on the season. Westlake, they picked up their first win yesterday, so they're coming in riding high with that good feeling. On the other hand, Copper Hills, they had a 15-point lead and ended up losing the game last night to the Crimson Cliffs. So, both teams are going to look to start quick, but I especially look for Copper Hills. Their game was late last night, so it's a quick turnaround and bounce back. They're going to need a quick start.
So let's get into our Heidemann Associates keys to the game, presented by Heidemann Associates, the full-service law firm, fully committed to winning for you, the client, as Sandstorm blares over the loudspeakers here at Skyridge High. Tyler, what do both teams need to do to come out of here with a dub?
Well, for Westlake, I look for them to be focused and locked in defensively. Head coach Nate Carling, he said after yesterday's game that was the most focused they've been all year. And when referring to this Copper Hills team, he said, you can't stop one guy. You have to defend all five. And quite frankly, with Copper Hills, it has been just stopping one guy with Isaiah Reiser. He had 32 points yesterday. He averages 21 on the season. So you need to be assignment sound when you're guarding a guy like Reiser, because he will hurt you if you're not sharp on your weak side and help defense. On the other side for Copper Hills, it goes back to what I just said. You got to start fast and you got to start smart. They let the Crimson Cliffs back into the game last night just by costly turnovers. They came at bad times down the stretch, and it let the Crimson Cliffs get back into the game. So you need to start fast and start smart. It's easy when you're 1-4, and they played good teams. They've been in some close games. But when you're 1-4, you're looking for that next victory. So you're coming off a tough loss last night. You have a quick chance to turn around. Look for them to start fast.
So off we go here from Skyridge High as the tip-off is taken by Copper Hills. And we have a backcourt violation immediately off the jump.
It's not something you see every day. I think they've got stats on backcourt violations on the jump. I'd love to see how many of those have happened.
Well, it's 10 o'clock in the morning too, Tyler. A little bit different for the rhythms here.
You're excited to get the ball, start the game, and you just toss it to your point guard and don't realize he's 3 feet behind you, but you can't do that.
Somebody didn't press the alarm button this morning on the Copper Hills Grizzlies, as Jacob Curtis was the one that turned that over. Meanwhile, Jace Adams to the basket. That one ejected from the rim, and Wes Curtis grabs the rebound, and here's Tyler McVeigh. He who had 16 points last night, and he gets off to an early start with a shot that flies off the rim, no good. And immediately comes Kyler Hatfield up the court, and he banks it in to start the game as Isaiah Reiser tried to take the charge. 2-0 early on. Again, Copper Hills and Westlake both come into this game with one win each. Westlake picking up their first win last night. 15 on the shot clock. Here's Reiser. Reiser looking into the corner. Back to McVeigh. Down to Wes Curtis. Curtis turns, puts up the hook shot. That will go. Gets his own rebound. Puts it back up and scores.
If you're Westlake, that hurts. We talked about being assignment sound on defense. That was a great possession, a lot of ball screens, handoffs that they fought through. And they forced a tough shot from Copper Hills. It's just you got to collect the rebound. That's what ends a great defensive possession.
Nate Carling talked with us about that, the fact that you have to defend for a long period of time as that three is off the mark, and the rebound comes down to Boston Lamborn. Isaiah Reiser speeding up ahead to the basket, count it, and the foul! He's already starting early here, and that's going to put him on the line for one more. He who had 32 points, Tyler Gibb, last night in that loss against Crimson Cliffs, and the Mustangs had a very difficult time defending him, and he's already got 3 to start the game. Remember, he needs 17 coming into this game to break the all-time tournament scoring record. He's already got 3.
Well, that's a great start for him. Wasting no time on a little bit of a fast break off the rebound. If you get it and push the pace, you can have those opportunities.
Simon Sua now into the corner. Here's Graydon Anderson. Anderson gets the screen from Hatfield. 10 on the shot clock here. Got to get to work. Jace Adams out front against Lamborn. Adams dumps it down. Hatfield all by himself. And banks it up and in.
What patience by Adams. When you get in the paint and you pick up your dribble, a lot of times high school players will stress in that situation and force up a tough shot, but patience to let everything settle.
And that man is patient too as Jacob Curtis gets on the score sheet. And an early 7-4 lead here for Copper Hills. Just underway here, Alexander Timolip and Tyler Gibb. Something a little different for the bi-rhythms here as we got a foul on that last play. And Tyler, let's take a look back at that last play by Reiser as he comes down the middle here.
Yeah, when you get it early before the defense gets settled, Westlake's not going to have that help side, weak side defense because everybody's trying to find their guy as they're running down the floor. So Reiser takes advantage of that, and Westlake's just a little late to get to him.
And there, almost Reiser came up with a steal. But that time able to get it up and in.
The interior passing by Westlake. It was Adams on the other possession and Anderson that time. Great looks down low.
And again, another and one as Tyler McVeigh charges hard to the basket. And we're going to get another foul here. That one called on Westlake's number 11, Satchel Hepworth, the 6'2 senior. And that'll put Tyler McVeigh on the line for the three-point play. And he puts it up and in to complete the three. And it's a 10-6 lead here for Copper Hills as we're almost halfway through the first quarter. Adams on the drive, gets to the basket. No, that time he is fouled. And he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
In this day and age, it's so common for the three-point play to come from behind the three-point line. But early in this game, it's fun to see that Copper Hills has had 2 3-point plays the old-fashioned way, and there you see Adams attacking the rim, not able to make the basket, but gets himself a trip to the free throw line. So teams, not relying on the 3-ball like you see a lot in the modern day of basketball.
Tyler, that's the other thing that was interesting, too, is you bring up that point that everybody seems to be relying on the three-point shot. Copper Hills had 6 3-pointers in the first half of last night's game. And that just shows you just how much John Watkins and really every other coach in the land relies on being efficient from beyond the property line. Speaking of which, here's Jacob Curtis for 3, right on cue.
Of course, they said, hey, we know how we can get 3 points the old-fashioned way. We're going to show you we can do it behind the three-point line, too.
Hepworth out front. Jace Adams on the wing, batched up against Lamborn. Sua tries the 3. He hits it. And that's something, Tyler, that a lot of teams in Region 3 are going to be concerned about this year. Simon Sua being able to do that, just straight up pull up, as Reiser lost control of it out front. Nice bounce pass to Sua from Adams. Kicks it out in the corner. 3 from Anderson. Off the mark, tipped out. Hatfield, the offensive board. And Adams will reset to Sua, who gets the flyby and drives to the basket and scores.
What a move by Sua. He just hit the 3 a possession ago, and so he gets an open look. The defense rushes out to him, but that's an experienced and high IQ play to let the defender fly by and get the easy layup at the rim.
He's only a junior, and he was such a great sharpshooter last year. as Adams comes up short on that three. Might have rushed it a little bit as the rebound comes down to Curtis. Here comes Reiser. Reiser head of the pack. Gets it back to Curtis. He puts up another three. That one rattles out. And the rebound comes down to Hepworth.
As soon as we started talking about attacking the rim and getting the three-point play on the inside, there's only been 1-2 attempted and a plethora of threes.
Little 4-out, 1-in motion offense here by the Thunder. 15 on the shot clock. Sua, who's already got 5 points. Anderson, nice spin move, puts up the tough shot and gets it to fall. Two and a half minutes left to go here in the first quarter. 14-13, first lead of the game for Westlake. Sloan Sua getting set to check in here. Curtis drives, puts up the tough shot, gets it to go. Nice move. Coming to a jump stop and then banking it in with the right hand. And it's 15-14, so a little back and forth here to start this one here on this Saturday morning. Anybody talk about having morning coffee? This is definitely it as Tyler McVeigh comes up with a steal. 2-on-1 fast break. McVeigh, Euro step, but he drug his left foot. John Watkins not happy with the call.
The play is so common, and it oftentimes looks like a travel to Euro step, but that time he did just drag the foot a little bit, and it was a little slower than a normal Euro step. But I think because it looks like a travel so often, but it's never called, when it does get called on you, it hurts a little bit more because you think that everybody else gets away with it. But that one just dragged the foot a little too much.
NBA players would never get called for that, as Jace Adams almost got a pickpocketed there by Lamborn. Now Graydon Anderson draped by Reiser. 13 on the shot clock. Again, Westlake getting deep into the shot clock here. Here's Sloan Sua out front. Sua gets Jaden Hayde, who just checked in. 5 on the shot clock. Tough shot, and somehow got it to fall.
There's been about 4 possessions for Westlake where they've got it inside around the paint, and it's looked like the possession is going nowhere, but they've been able to be patient, either make a great pass. That time it's just a tough finish. That's good defense by Copper Hills, but Westlake's been able to execute inside.
17 on the shot clock for Wesley Curtis, and we got a foul for a hand check, no basket. Let's take a look back at that last Euro step, Tyler, because as you said, that left foot dragged just a little bit further, but you get the benefit of the doubt sometimes with that call. But that time, it's tough to make that call in that situation.
Yeah, he kind of did a little extra hop and a skip step. A good finish inside by Curtis. He's had a couple of good finishes inside where he uses his body to create separation. He's been back and forth in the first quarter. We've had about 5 or 6 lead changes. And
he has already 6 points to lead all scorers. Simon Sua has 5. Isaiah Reiser has 3. They done a pretty good job of keeping him in check, at least thus far. Graydon Anderson to the basket. Gets the friendly roll.
Anderson is so composed inside when he gets to the rim. He's had a couple finishes, a great pass inside, and you don't see that a lot from high school level players. We've kind of mentioned it a little bit in the first quarter, but really good job by Westlake to be composed inside.
Ormond can't get that one to fall. 3 seconds to go. Adams gets it off of the buzzer, and it's off the mark, no good. And a little back and forth at the end of this first quarter. It's the Westlake Thunder who get the last laugh, though, in the first quarter. They find themselves up 18-17. We'll be back after this word from Allstate on the Rewind Sports Network. Just a reminder what's coming up here on the Allstate Falcon Classic, the championship game between the Dixie Flyers and the Crimson Cliffs Mustangs in all 4A Region 9 showdown. That's coming up later today at 3:10 here on the Rewind Sports Network. But as we start day 3, Alexander Timolip and Tyler Gibb here at Skyridge High School. Westlake leads by 1 as we kick off the second quarter of play in this consolation game of the Allstate Falcon Classic. Simon Sua here with 5 points for Westlake. Drives in the paint, comes to a stop, picks up his dribble, now gets it back to Anderson, matched up against Reiser. Anderson. And he traveled.
Good defense by Reiser. Just force Anderson into a tough play, which Anderson can do, but that time gets a little sped up, and Reiser just did a good job of standing firm. He plays a lot bigger on defense than his 5'10 frame would give off.
Here he is now out front, gets the screen from Curtis. Spins. Try to kick it out. Scramble for it on the floor. Where's it going? It's going to go to the Westlake Thunder as Jaden Haight touched it last.
That's that classic example of picking up the ball right underneath the rim when you've got nowhere to go. If you keep your dribble alive, you can circle back around. But it's so tough when you get inside. You want to try to finish or make a pass, so you pick it up and nowhere to go.
Here's Graydon Anderson, 20 on the shot clock here. Hands off to Jace Adams. Tyler McVeigh and Boston Lamborn getting set to check back in. Here's Sloan Sua. Drives to the basket. Right hand, no, but a foul. Foul called on Jaden Haight, his first, team first. Sloan Sua to the line to shoot 2. And his first shot is up, and it is good. KSL Sports Rewind's coverage of Copper Hills basketball is presented all season long by Kengarf Automotive Dealers. We get it. You want the best deals, you want the best rates, and you want the best prices. That's exactly what we do. We listen to you because we hear you. Kengarf Automotive Dealers is a proud sponsor of Copper Hills basketball. 20-17 in favor of Westlake. Joined by Tyler Gibb, Alexander Timolip here on this Saturday morning as Isaiah Reiser. Now matched up against Simon Sua. Interesting matchup, kicks into the corner. Austin Ormond for 3. That's no good. Tip up by Haight, and Adams comes down with the rebound. Adams, crossover. Pull-up jumper from inside 5 feet. Got it.
The Thunder love that little area. We've seen Adams, Anderson, and Sua all create separation and get some baskets inside.
Copper Hills hasn't scored in over 3 minutes now. As Reiser matched up here against Jace Adams. Nice pass to Ormond. Got it to Lamborn back up top. Here's McVeigh for 3. That doesn't go. Rebound Anderson.
Nate Carling talked about defending all 5 positions, making it tough for him. I think Reiser attempted maybe 1 or 2 shots in this game. He had the and one, but other than that, pretty quiet.
Great Anderson can't hit that 3. Meanwhile, we got a foul on Jaden Haight, who picks up 2 quick fouls in succession. And that will put Kyler Hadfield at the line.
Things are just coming really hard for the Grizzlies right now. You can see them trying to get inside, drive and kick, but it's really difficult because of how focused and disciplined the Thunder have been on the defensive end, and Reiser hasn't been able to find a rhythm, which he can do quickly. So look for him to get going. But so far, Coach Carling's got to be pleased with the defense.
Meanwhile, John Watkins was out of his coaching box. Nate Carling had to come out of his coaching box to try to calm him down, the 2 good friends over there. Carling knows how stressful it can be, but trying to keep his good buddy John Watkins under control right now as he was out of his coaching lane there. 15 on the shot clock. Lamborn back to Reiser. He'll pull the trigger for 3. And Hatfield the rebound. Approaching 5 minutes now in the scoring drought for Copper Hills. Sua long 3. That doesn't go. And we're going to get a foul called, as it looks like that was called for coming into the landing area there for Simon Sua, and he'll go to the line to shoot 3. And first of 3 shots is up, and it is good.
Copper Hills led 17-16, so it's been 7 straight for Westlake. And we talked about it at the beginning of the game, but when you're 1-4 and you've been in your last couple of games, they started with Davis and Layton, those are two great teams. Those weren't as close, but then your last 3 games, they're close. And yesterday, you let one slip away at the end. You start to force the issue a little bit. And with the pressure that Westlake has been putting on defense, you see him starting to force up shots, trying to get something to fall. And the 3 ball is great once you found a rhythm, but if you're just trying to start by launching threes, it's tough to get it going. And Copper Hill says, hey, we'll get the 3 ball going, don't you worry. But you just see that it's tough to get things going for Copper Hills.
That was Copper Hill's first field goal. That 3 by Lamborn in almost 6 minutes as Lamborn gets tangled up with Adams behind the play. Curtis goes up, and he is fouled going to the basket. Graydon Anderson picks up the foul, his second. And that basket, by the way, Tyler, broke, as you said, an 8-0 run by the Thunder.
Yeah, and it's big when you're in a drought like that. You just need something to go. And they had got quite a bit of shots up. And that one, maybe not a great shot, exactly what you're looking for, but you do get one to go. And then that's exactly what they need to keep doing after that possession. You get a stop, and then you push the pace. Westlake's not able to set up their defense. And so you push the pace, and you get a chance to go to the free throw line. That's why getting stops are so important, is you force the defense to be playing a little bit out of sorts. They're not able to get set.
So after 5 quick points, Copper Hills cuts the lead back down to just a deuce. Malik Sika, the 6'2 freshman, checked in at that last stoppage. Jace Adams into the paint. Turns, puts the shoulder in. That shot is off the backboard, and the rebound comes down to Curtis. Good defense by Lamborn. Reiser speeding to the basket.
Just what we talked about. You get the stop on one end. Don't wait. Don't walk the ball up the floor. Get the ball and run, and Reiser is so good at that.
5 points for Reiser. That's just his second field goal, but more importantly, it ties the game at 24. So Copper Hills comes back with 7 straight. Kyler Hatfield, though, answers back.
And that's just a tough finish. It's good defense, staying straight up, but that's a tough finish by Hatfield going over the outstretched arms.
Lamborn for the lead. That's off the mark and short. Simon Sua racing back up the floor. Good defense transition-wise by McVeigh. And he'll back it out wisely here to Jace Adams. 3:18 to go here in the second quarter. Alexander Timolip and Tyler Gibb here at Skyridge High School on day 3 of the All-State Falcon Classic. Hatfield drives, trapped, 10 on the shot clock. Back it comes to Sika. Sua gets a lane, rotates over. The ball got kicked on the way through. It looked like it hit somebody's foot. I think it was Curtis's foot. And the shot clock will reset to 20.
A little bit of pinball going on for a second. It took a second for the refs to call the kick ball. Looked like there was 3 different kick balls.
That's not pinball at that point, buddy. We call that soccer. Someone's just got to try to score. Kyler Hatfield counted and won.
Back-to-back tough finishes for Hatfield. Both of them over Curtis. The first one just on the block, turns and puts it over him. That one, he actually starts and drives, and Curtis just a little bit late on the bump and goes into Hatfield, and another great finish from the right side.
Hatfield completes the 3-point play. And Westlake with 5 quick points, back up by 5. McVeigh drives, floater, no, foul. And he'll go to the line to shoot 2 shots as we head back to that last play, Tyler. You talked about how he just came right down the hill. Here, Kyler Hatfield, we're watching him.
He starts, normally he's going to be down on the block. This time he gets the ball up top and he just looks for the basket. And that's what you got to do. Keep attacking. You're coming off of one finish. Feel like you've got a little bit of a rhythm. Just go into the body of Curtis and a good finish. And we've kind of had a little bit of a stretch of runs here. We saw the 8-0 Westlake run, then Copper Hills answered back with 7 straight, and then it was 5 straight for Westlake before those 2 free throws.
2 really talented 6A teams going at it. You would expect something like that, and it did come down to John Watkins saying that about Crimson Cliff's game yesterday. Everything was done right except the turnovers, but they forced one right there. And Copper Hill's going to get the ball back.
In the early season, it's tough to judge teams off of their record. Both these teams come in, Copper Hills 1-4, Westlake 1-3, but you've played good teams. The games have been close, and in the early stages of the season, you're trying to find, okay, what's the identity of our team, and you're trying to learn how to win games. And we've seen both of these teams in some close games struggle to win, but they're talented teams, and Sua is, he continues to attack. Both of these teams are going to find, ways to win games. It's just kind of getting used to that in the early season.
Especially for this Copper Hills team who's trying to replace Logan Whitehours. An offensive foul is called on Boston Lamborn for an illegal screen. Second foul called on him. That's the 15th foul on CH. And, Logan Whitehour was playing here with Dixie last night, Tyler. I don't think people understand just how big his scoring output was to John Watkins' team. And now you're asking guys like Isaiah Reiser to fill his shoes, and you're expecting other players to step up. And in the early part of the season, as Adams goes in and scores, that can be kind of hard.
It is, and Reiser's just a sophomore. He's done an incredible job at carrying the load, but we talk about those timely turnovers. That's what happens when you're inexperienced and not as used to playing at the varsity level altogether. There's a little bit more added pressure late in games, and we saw a couple costly turnovers yesterday. But you see the talent on display. Reiser is a fantastic scorer, one of the best, and he's only a sophomore. So as you get in those late game situations, the teams are going to learn how to close out games.
And especially is going to be key here in the early part of the non-region season for Copper Hills. As Sua drives inside, tough turnaround shot, gets it to go. Right over the top of Wes Curtis as we're under a minute to go. Isaiah Reiser, who's got 7, speeds up the floor. What's on the brakes? Tosses it back to Lamborn, now back to McVeigh. Curtis for 3. Bingo! And we have an official's timeout as it looks like we have, I believe it's going to be a warning, or is it blood?
They're checking for blood.
They're checking for blood. Yeah, that's what I thought, because Lamborn looks like he turned toward our camera and he got cut. So Austin Ormond will have to come in.
That's actually a great break for Copper Hills. Now that you have the shot clock, well, you have the 2-for-1 situation, and they got it off a little bit late, but because the clock stopped, there is a little bit of a separation on that game clock and shot clock. I forget, sometimes I think it's 30 seconds in high school because that's what college switched to, but it's a 35 seconds, so only a 2-second separation. You're probably not going to get another possession, but it does leave, a little bit of that difference.
So, timeout called by Nate Carling with 15 on the shot clock, 16.6 on the game clock, as they were just holding for the final shot. Alexander Timolip and Tyler Gibb with you here at Skyridge High School on this pleasant Saturday morning. 35-31, Westlake leads Copper Hills here as we head down the stretch. Tyler, what's impressed you the most about these two teams here thus far?
When you look at Westlake, I've been really impressed by the interior offense and how they've been able to finish and not get sped up down there, especially with Sua. Simon Sua has been great attacking the rim. He started out the day with a 3. Ever since then, it's just been everything inside, whether it's getting feeds from his teammates on backdoor cuts like we just saw a possession ago, or attacking the rim himself. And Copper Hills, they got off, they jumped out to a little bit of an early lead. They've kind of been playing from behind the whole second quarter, but they've done a great job at just, as soon as Westlake pushes it out to about 7, they've cut it back. And if they can get a big stop here, that 3 on the other end by Curtis just a moment ago, you go into half, it's just a 4-point game. At that point, it's anyone's taken.
And we got a double dribble, so they are going to get one more possession. 8 seconds as Kyler Hatfield turns it over. Boston Lamborn got his mouth or his lip glued back together. Just put some super glue in it and get the heck back out there. So here we go, last possession. Reiser with 5. Reiser with 4. Reiser gets to a spot. McVeigh for 3. No good. That's the end of the first half. It was a good look, though, but Copper Hills, you have to say, Tyler, is going to be happy. They're going to go into the locker room down by just 4. They could have easily been down by more.
Yeah, and a lot of adjustments to be made. Credit to Westlake. They played a great half. They were sharp, but Copper Hills, they stayed in it. And really all around, both teams look to be playing well. It's just who can come out and make the adjustments and have the energy in the second half.
It's been a good first half. It was a first half of runs between Westlake and Copper Hills. We head to the break with Westlake up by 4. When we come back, we'll have the start of the second half. You're watching the Rewind Sports Network's special presentation of Copper Hills basketball presented by Ken Garff Automotive Dealers. This is the Allstate Vulcan Classic. Before we start the second half, I want to remind you Copper Hills basketball is presented by Jiffy Lube Live. Jiffy Lube of Utah, proud to support Utah high school sports and the What Drives You Scholarship Program. You simply write about your goals and dreams for a chance to win $6,500. And 8 students will win, and Jiffy Lube is proud to give away $22,000 in total scholarship awards this year. Visit JiffyLubeUtah.com for more information about the What Drives You Scholarship Program. As we take a look at the bracket for the championship bracket, Dixie Crimson Cliffs coming up later today, but right now it's Westlake and Copper Hills here at Skyridge High School on day 3 of the All-State Vulcan Classic, joined by Tyler Gibb, Alexander Timoliv from up here on the track at Skyridge. Tyler, what impressed you the most about that first half?
I was just impressed by the poise overall, really by both teams. Westlake, especially on offense, they were patient. There was quite a few possessions that looked like they weren't going anywhere, and Westlake ended up getting a great look just because of the patience and not forcing anything. On the other side, Copper Hills, when they were at their best, they were getting a stop and they were pushing it. They were pushing the pace. It was difficult for them to get things going in the half-court offense. So look for, especially Isaiah Reiser. He was limited in the first half. He had like 7 points. He's only been held under 20 points one time this year. So look for him to get going, in transition to pick up the pace, especially off of a miss. That's where Copper Hills is at their best. You
have to say, though, the balance of scoring has been great to see. I mean, Simon Sua and Isaiah Reiser are tied with 7 points at this point. They're the 2 leading scorers on the team, but it's the other guys around them like Tyler McVeigh, Jacob Curtis. They are all stepping up in diverse ways here, including Jace Adams and Graydon Anderson on the other side for Westlake.
Yeah, and Westlake's proven, with Adams, Anderson, and Sua, they've got 3 guys averaging, over 11 points. It's been Copper Hills it's been Reiser who's led the way. Outside of that, they haven't had like a third guy. There you see other guys stepping up. Tyler McVeigh's averaged 13 points on the year, so it's mainly been Reiser and McVeigh that have led the way for Copper Hills, but they haven't had a ton of consistent contribution and a third guy to step up.
Well, Boston Lamborn is that third guy right now. As Anderson works it into the post, Hadfield trapped, back out it comes. Here's a 3 on the way for Hepworth. He can't answer back. Tip to the rebound comes to Curtis. And now Copper Hills wants to run. McVeigh puts on the brakes, drives into the paint, kicks it out. Lamborn wide open. Bingo!
Lamborn made the decision. He's going to be that guy to step up and help carry the load. 2 back-to-back threes, and all of a sudden Copper Hills, who was down 7 a minute before the half, is up 2.
If you stretch out that run over the last couple of minutes from halftime, it's a 9-0 run. As the game of runs continues here to start the second half, 15 on the shot clock here for Graydon Anderson. He has to back it out. Under 10 on the shot clock. Reiser draped on Anderson, looking for a cutter, back with 5. Hepworth, pull-up jumper, banks it in!
The late shot clock execution from Westlake. That one, I don't know if you as much define it as execution as you do just a great shot. But they've been able to get buckets late in the shot clock. That time Hepworth kind of throws up a prayer and banks it in. But it's deflating for Copper Hills when you've had countless possessions where you force them late into the shot clock and they just find a way to get a bucket.
Reiser drives downhill. No good, but a foul. As he'll go to the line. Talk about the impact Boston Lamborn had on that last play, Tyler. Let's take a look at this, and it came off the break.
Yeah, they got the stop. They pushed the pace. You see them up-tempo rushing the floor, and don't hesitate. You drive inside, and then that leaves, open shooters. The defense is scrambling to stop the ball at the rim, and so that's going to leave that three-point line, and those are in-rhythm threes. Instead of, 20, 25 seconds into the shot clock where you haven't been able to find anything, so you force up a 3. That's in rhythm. Nobody's around you. The defense is scrambling, and you're just set in the corner.
Reiser, meanwhile, hits both free throws. He's now got 9 points. Trying to find Anderson on the backdoor cut, and he gets capped by Lamborn. Good defense, following him to the basket.
Doing it on both sides of the floor.
That's right. Adams gets the screen. Sua, he can shoot that, but he can't make that one. And the ball is tipped from Lamborn. It goes right to McVeigh. In transition. Fakes the dribble handoff. McVeigh looking. And Lamborn will get the kick. Reiser gets the screen, drives, pull-up jumper, 15-footer. Rims out, and a foul on Hatfield, trying to fight over the box out. And it'll be an inbound underneath.
Curtis was going for the rebound. Hatfield a little out of position. That's why you turn and box out and, stop your guy instead of just looking at the ball. And in these close games, you look for difference makers that come out. Oftentimes it's not the guys that you're used to seeing. And so far, Lamborn has been that guy in the second half to help push Copper Hills ahead.
Jacob Curtis to the basket, and he takes a hard fall. They got numbers the other way, 5-on-4. Someone's going to have to foul. Meanwhile, Anderson takes it in. He does get fouled on the way to the hoop. And meanwhile, behind the play, Curtis holding his lower back.
Hard fall on his tailbone. He went up airborne looking for contact, but the defense just kind of fell out of the way, and he fell straight on to his back, and those never feel good. We hope he's okay. He's walked up the floor.
First shot by Graydon Anderson is good. And unfortunately, Tyler, you and I have played enough basketball. My dad has played enough basketball. We all know how that feels.
They hurt in the moment, but they especially hurt
the day after.
And the day after.
Yes.
This is a morning game,
big
so
old,
at least he'll be active throughout the day.
Big old purple mark on the back of on your lower back. And everybody wonders where the heck that came from. Meanwhile, we are tied at 39. On the 2 free throws, Reiser speeds to the basket, kick in the corner, Lamborn, cha-ching!
That was an incredible pass from Reiser. He's all the way on the right block, and he circles around in the air, throws a sidearm pass to the hot hand, and Lamborn, he's 3 for 3 to open up the second half.
You just talked about that passing sequence. Let's take a look at that passing sequence. You talked about it, Tyler. And this came off that little bit of a back screen.
Yeah, you see the pressure and attack from Reiser, and he's like in a almost jump man position, minus the ball up in the air. He throws it out to the side. He's got his legs spread out. That's an athletic play and good eyes from Reiser. And that's what you talk about, early in the year. You're starting to develop that chemistry. Reiser knows Lamborn is going to be in the corner. They drop that play, and you just trust that your guy is going to be there and knock down the shot. And so Reiser delivers a pass on time and on target, and Lamborn does the rest.
Reiser, this time drives and finds Tyler McVeigh cut into the basket. That time he got cut off on the baseline, but Tyler McVeigh bailed him out with a great feed on the baseline. Meanwhile, that shot doesn't go, and we got a late foul. And it's going to be a push-off called on Kyler Hatfield. It'll go the other way.
That last play was identical to the one they ran before. Reiser came off, drove down low. That time, Lamborn was still in the corner, but the defense, knowing what just happened, cut off that corner. So instead, Reiser just hits the guy inside. Nobody's there.
Tyler McVeigh. That's another Ken Garff Automotive 3. And the Grizzlies have put up 20 points in this third quarter already. Or close to 20 points in this third quarter already. They lead by 6. And this, I believe, matches their largest lead of the entire game. As they've fallen back, it looks like into a zone. Kick out in the corner. Hepworth trying to answer. Can't do so. Off the top of the backboard. He gets the offensive board, though, and splashes the floater.
Good job by Hepworth to stay in the play. You're reeling a little bit. Copper Hills can't miss. You need to get a bucket, and he misses the 3, but he stays with it. Copper Hills can't grab it, and a much-needed basket.
Tough pass right there, but Sua couldn't grab the handle on it. Let's take a look back at that play you just said. Identical, the same play.
Yeah, you see Reiser gets the handoff again. He drives inside. That time the corner 3 isn't there, but a great cut inside, and it leaves for the wide-open basket. I believe it was McVeigh who made the cut, so good awareness by him.
And another three-pointer. Jacob Curtis this time answers the bell. And this now is the largest lead Copper Hills has had, and I believe, Tyler, that is their 5th three-pointer they've hit in this quarter.
It is. It's 3 from Lamborn, and I think that was Curtis who just hit back-to-back threes. So the hoop is wide open for the Grizzlies.
Crashing to the floor. It comes out to Graydon Anderson. He's got a new 35, and he'll wisely back it out. Jackson Hansen, the 6'1 senior, checked it. Or rather, that's not Hansen, that's Brady. That's Braden Rakautis that came in. As meanwhile, Adams gets capped by Jacob Curtis. Here comes Reiser, 3-on-1 to the basket, but couldn't get it to go. Sua on the toss ahead. Here comes Adams to the basket. He gets blocked off. No call. Here comes Tyler McVeigh. And finally, we get a foul. As things getting a little helter-skelter here with 2:16 left here in the third. Alexander Tumulip and Tyler Gibb joining you here from Skyridge High School as Nate Carling is going to come out on the floor to argue if there was a foul or not in that last play. He'll take a full timeout, and we will take one with him. 50. Want to thank Allstate for their sponsorship of the Allstate Falcon Classic. And you can also enter to win Jazz Mavericks tickets and a Roots Chris gift card courtesy of Allstate. We will donate. Of course, Allstate's going to donate to each school's program for each additional entry into the contest. Good luck. The winners will be announced today following the conclusion of the tournament.
The Jazz promise to keep that game closer than their game with the Mavericks on Wednesday.
Stop. We're not going there. You work for the Jazz, Tyler. Be careful.
Hey, I said they'll keep it closer.
Alexander Tumulip alongside Tyler Gibb.
Luka Doncic, you'll get a. Who would not want to sign up for that to see Luka Doncic play? He had a triple-double in the first half.
If he plays,
against the Jazz.
If he plays, that is. If any of Kyrie or Luka play, that's the question right now. Off the set, McVeigh can hit that three. Rebound taken out by Jace Adams. Westlake has only one field goal over the last 7 minutes of game time. Sua, 15-footer. That doesn't go. Rebound taken down by Lamborn. Here comes Curtis. Reiser drives, scoop shot off the glass. And he's starting to heat up. He's got 11.
He's come out with a different attitude in the second half. He's getting downhill and he's looking to make a play from there. The first half he was just trying to get something going, but there's a lot more purpose to his drives. He's driving and passing to a guy, or he's driving and finishing at the rim instead of just having nowhere to go.
Sua the other way gets the foul and one as they finally break down that zone.
It's a much-needed basket from Sua.
And let's take a look back at that last drive there from Isaiah Reiser.
This time he goes left, but he kind of does a little scoop finish with the right. You know, he's so good going to that right side, so they kind of force him left, and that time he still finds a way to have a nifty finish.
Jacob Curtis fighting for that rebound, gets it away, and now here comes Reiser up the floor with it. Reiser drives, kicks it out. McVeigh, one more. Curtis, one more. Wes Curtis rims out. And the rebound capture by Jace Adams. Approaching a minute to go here in the third quarter. Sua looking low. Again, Copper Hills, Tyler, look like they're in that 2-3 zone. They're trying to defend that three, but the wings are open, and Westlake trying to reverse it into that high post.
Yeah, they've switched it up this third quarter and gone zone, and it's been effective at shutting down that interior. They're forcing Westlake to make shots from the outside.
As they do so right there, Sloan Sua with the corner three, and we're back in a 4-point game.
And this is a nearly identical finish to the second quarter, just flip sides. Westlake had a 7-point lead, and Copper Hills hit a three with 40 seconds left to cut it to 4, and really gave them a little bit of momentum to make it just a 4-point game. You know, 4 and 7 feels a lot different. So now Westlake, they do the same thing. They're down 7. They hit the three to cut it to 4. Now you're looking for that stop to end the quarter.
So here we go. 10 on the shot clock here for Reiser. Going to go to work. Gets the dribble handoff. Back it goes. Wes Curtis to answer. No. Tip up. Here comes Sloan Sua throwing it ahead. Great steal by McVeigh. And that's going to do it for the third quarter.
Wasn't the quarter Westlake wanted, but you get the three and the stop to end, and now it's just a 4-point game with 8 minutes to go.
And it is going to be a great fourth quarter as we kick off the last day of the Falcon Classic. We're going down to the wire again, possibly. 52-48 as we head to the fourth here on KSLSports.com. The All-State Falcon Classic presented all week long by Allstate. I'd like to thank them for their sponsorship. Also presented by Heidemann and Associates. Our coverage here on KSL Sports Rewind. The full-service law firm fully committed to winning for you, the client. Call in today at 801-754-4240 for more, or visit them online at utah.law. Alexander Timulip alongside Tyler Gibb, ready for the fourth quarter of this game between Copper Hills and Westlake, the consolation game of the Sky Ridge Falcon Classic. Thunder will get the ball to open proceedings here in the fourth. Both teams have led by as much as 7. Sloan Sua out front, gives it over to Kyler Hadfield. Simon Sua drives, kicks it in the corner. 15 on the shot clock. Sloan to the basket, off the mark. And the rebound taken by McVeigh. Nearly got a strip from behind, but Reiser able to back him up.
That would have been a big basket for Sloan. He hit the three to end the third, and that would have cut it to one possession. Had a great look.
That was a great pick right there off the set. McVeigh turned it over. Here comes Hatfield. Hatfield drives. Won't go. Rebound tipped and grabbed by Reiser. Up the floor. Here comes Jacob Curtis. Curtis drives. Off the glass. Won't go. Rebound taken down by Graydon Anderson. Going up and down the floor here to start this fourth quarter. Jace Adams spins up and under. Hit the bottom of the backboard. Might have lost control of it. Reiser pull up for 3. That doesn't go. And a one-handed rebound there by Hatfield. Hatfield drives to the basket and scores.
Both teams said, let's just see how many possessions we can both string together in this fourth quarter, back and forth. And Westlake has had 4 good looks at the rim, finally able to convert, and it's a one-possession game.
Backdoor cut, nice pass. Tyler McVeigh and the foul. Boston Lambourne threaded that sucker through the eye of the needle. And one more coming up for Tyler McVeigh.
That was an amazing look by Lambourne. The third quarter, it was all about the 3 ball for him, but now he says, all right, I'm going to find my teammates and give credit there to McVeigh. A good look, and he finishes through contact.
Tyler McVeigh had 16 points last night, and he gives Copper Hills a 5-point lead. Hatfield drives on Curtis, goes up, can't get it to go, but a foul. And Hatfield will go to the line. Let's take a look at that last play here by Boston Lambourne. I mean, just off that screen, what a pass.
Yeah, eyes up. You see him come around up top, and McVeigh, just sneaks behind Sua. And Sua knew, when he fell to the ground after he fouled him, you saw him just kind of give a smile and laugh and hit the ground. He knew, that's a great cut by McVeigh, and he got beat. And, credit to Lambourne keeping the eyes up, and McVeigh being aware to cut and finish.
Hatfield goes 1 for 2. It remains a 4-point game. Isaiah Reiser has 11 points. He still needs 5 more points to tie the Falcon Classic Weekend Tournament scoring record. Jacob Curtis, though, almost got that one to go on the pass from his brother Wes.
And that time, identical play. It was, you had Wes, pass it to Jacob, and that time it was the other Sua brother who was in on getting beat on the backdoor cut. So you just see smart heads-up plays by Copper Hills.
56-51 as Jacob Curtis puts in both free throws and makes it a 6-point game. Second foul called on Sloan Sua. Here's Sloan on the backdoor cut. Gets that one to go. On the long toss ahead from Reiser. Offensive foul on Jacob Curtis.
Both Curtis and Coach Watkins disagree with the call, and that is a tough one. In transition, Curtis has his right to the basket, but a good job. I believe it was Anderson that stepped in to take the charge, sacrifice the body.
It's always a tough play, and, obviously, like we keep saying, Hawaii high school basketball has that mini semicircle under the basket, that restricted area. Other states like Utah don't have that restricted area, so really it's left to the judgment of the officials to make the call. Speaking of threading the needle, how about that pass from Sloan Sua to Jace Adams, and we're in a 2-point game.
Yeah, Sloan Sua, he's been the guy on offense in the last couple of minutes for Westlake, dating back to the end of the third quarter. Had a couple buckets and now a great find.
Isaiah Reiser got all tied up and fouled by a couple of arms. There'll be a side out on the foul called on Jace Adams, his second, team third. 5:06 left in regulation. As we seem to always have a cardiac Copper Hills finish as Jake Curtis has to tie his shoe, or Wes Curtis has to tie his shoe here down below. Occupational hazard.
We've had a stop for blood, stop for a shoe tie.
And John Watkins and Nate Carling both just had a look at each other and just laughed. Two good friends. Reiser. Back to McVeigh. Coming up from down deep. Pull up from 15 feet. Left that short. Rebound Anderson. He wants to run. Anderson with the only man back being McVeigh, and he beats it to the basket.
When Copper Hills could not miss from three, Westlake stayed tough. They got baskets when they needed to, and just like that, a good start to the fourth quarter. It's tied up, and this is the same situation Copper Hills was in yesterday with Crimson Cliffs.
Another offensive foul on Jacob Curtis, and it's Graydon Anderson stepping in to take the charge again for the second time.
John Watkins talked about the timely turnovers yesterday. Westlake ties it up. You start to feel a little bit of that pressure. You just want to get another win. And so you drive in a little bit out of control and pick up the charge. Copper Hills has got to settle it down and just get back to what they were doing to start the third quarter and even to open the fourth with those backdoor cuts.
Deadlocked at 57, approaching 4 minutes to go. Running clock here in the fourth quarter. 13 on the shot clock now for Anderson. Now 10. Crowd starts counting down the seconds. Anderson looking low. Hatfield has to put it up and gets it to fall. They've gotten deep into the shot clock, but they made it pay off, and just like that, Westlake is back on top. Reiser step back for three. Hatfield the long rebound. Three minutes and 30 seconds left here in the game. Again, deep into the shot clock here for Westlake. 15. 10 on the shot clock.
It's games like this, the shot clock is great for high school basketball.
Sua drives. Got it! 8 straight points. 61-57 Westlake. 3 minutes left. Crunch time here at Skyridge. Timeout, Copper Hills. We'll take one with them. 2 minutes, 52 seconds left. A two-possession game. Down to the wire we go again here in Lehigh. The All-State Falcon Classic continues next with Skyridge taking on Brighton, and then Farmington plays Harriman. And then the championship game is an all-Region 4, or Region 9, I should say, 4A showdown between Crimson Cliffs and Dixie. But here we are. We're going down to the wire. Alexander Timolip alongside Tyler Gibb here at Skyridge High School. So Tyler, what are you looking for here for Copper Hills coming out of this timeout?
They need to find a way to execute in the half-court offense. That's been the difference in this game, and especially this fourth quarter. Westlake has found a way in the half court when things have slowed down to get good looks. Copper Hills had the 2 good looks on the backdoor cuts, but that's been about it for them. So they need to find something that works for them when the game has slowed down.
2:45 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Lamborn, deep 3. No, but there's a foul on the screen. As Sloan Sewell was trying to fight over the screen. Well, actually, it's Graydon Anderson who picks up the foul, so that's number 3 on Anderson. The next foul will put Copper Hills in the bonus. Curtis off the set, and he gets fouled before the block by Jace Adams, and so that will put Jacob Curtis on the line. It's called on Sloan Sewell, not on the block by Adams.
Still a great job by Adams, though, to slide over and get the block, because it looked like there may have been a clear path there to try and get the and one for Curtis, but Adams stops that, and a miss on the first one can still cut it to 1 possession, but 2 is a lot better than 3.
So a 3-point game with 2:40 to go. Copper Hills is in the bonus the rest of the way. Sua drives. Sua cut off, back to Hatfield. They'll back it out with 15 on the shot clock. 10 on the shot clock. Adams faces up, drives, and a blocking foul call on Jacob Curtis.
That's a tough call if you're Copper Hills. You fight for 30 seconds on the shot clock, and doesn't look like Westlake has anywhere to go, and Curtis is moving his feet, but refs thought he was a little late.
It did look like he was sliding over just a bit. 2 minutes to go. Sua. Anderson. Hatfield drives. Hatfield. No. And Wes Curtis the rebound. Here comes Reiser. Reiser underneath. Curtis up strong and scores. Great find by Isaiah Reiser. And it's a 1-point game with 90 seconds to go here in regulation.
Curtis was open for about 4 seconds underneath. Reiser eventually got it to him. A little tougher finish than what Curtis had earlier, but a good job to eventually get it there.
1-point game, and Nate Carling in kind will signal for a timeout, but we will keep it right here even though it's a full timeout. As we try to head back to that last play, we'll try to cue it up here on the replay, folks, in just a little bit. But Tyler, first of all, Copper Hills has been on a run here for the past few minutes. Like, it was seeming like they were going to go. It just seemed like everything was falling apart, and then all of a sudden they come back with those quick buckets.
Yeah, and you see the importance of getting a stop and then getting out in transition and going. This bucket was created by forcing a stop, and then you see Reiser, he's got his eyes up. Curtis was running under the basket and just kind of settled underneath. So good job to eventually get it there while Westlake can't get set. In this last minute, though, if you can get a stop here, you have the chance to take the lead with the basket. As soon as you get that rebound, you got to go. And if you're Westlake, you'll just keep doing what you've been doing on offense. You're patient. You've been able to find good looks. This is where that's going to really help you in the final minute 20 to settle down and get a good look at the rim.
1 minute, 21 seconds left to go. We remind you of the foul situation. Copper Hills already in the bonus. And with the next foul on Copper Hills, Westlake will also be in the bonus. So both teams will be in the bonus the rest of the way here. As 19 remains on the shot clock with 1:21 left here in regulation. Lamborn guarding, throws it out, does Jace Adams, 5 on the shot clock. Someone's got to see it. Anderson! No! Sewell the offensive rebound. And a new 35. Looked like it had a chance of going in, but instead it comes back to Anderson, and now he almost threw it away. 20 seconds on the shot clock. 61-60 Westlake. 15 on the shot clock. Sua, hop, skip, and a jump. Gives it over to Sloan. Back it comes to Adams. Adams drives, and a foul with 36.3 seconds to go and 8 on the shot clock. So no matter what, Tyler, as that's the 5th foul called on Jacob Curtis, he's out. So Tyler, no matter what the outcome of these free throws are, if Copper Hills clears the glass, it'll be a 1-possession game here, and they'll have a chance to tie or take the lead if one of the free throws is missed.
Yeah, and this is a big moment because, like we said earlier, 2 is a lot easier to drop a play for and to run an offense for than a 3-point lead is. And there's still 36 seconds left, so you don't have to do it all in one possession. But that right there just opens the door. Now Copper Hills, you don't feel the pressure of, okay, do we go for 3 here or do we try to get a quick 2? Now you can just play your offense, and whatever comes to you, you can either tie or take the lead.
So it'll be a 2-point game with 36.3 seconds to go. There's about a 1-second difference between shot and game clock. John Watkins not calling a timeout, just going to let it run. And they're going to leave it in the hands of their point guard, because why not? Reiser gets the screen. Reiser drives. Reiser floats. Reiser scores! Tie game with 10 seconds left. Here comes Adams with 5. Adams drives. Adams spins. Can't get it to go. And we are going to overtime again.
2 great guards with 2 great attacks. Reiser able to finish. He did a great job using his head to fake out the defense. And then on the other end, it was Adams. Great spin move. He got the look he wanted, and he wishes he could have that back. But, what a fun game, and no better way to end it than with a couple extra minutes of basketball.
Let's take a look back at that basket, Tyler, because once again, they left it in the hands of Reiser, and that screen really set it up.
Yeah, you see a little hesitation. He goes back and uses his head to really sell it, and then he gets his way in a tough finish. And then you see on the other end, the spin move right there, has a look and just overshoots it on that. But a great move by 2 point guards in their respective way. One able to finish, one's not able to, but that gives us extra basketball and a game where both teams have really looked like they may pull away and looking like they were the better team. The answer back has been there, so let's settle it with a couple extra more minutes.
So, Tyler, Copper Hills has already been in an overtime game. They played, about 12 hours ago. What do you think the mental side of being in back-to-back overtime games in this early in the season does to you?
Well, overtime in late-game situations is tricky because while it helps to have been there just 12 hours ago, when you come up on the losing end, it's a lot more deflating than losing in regulation. You feel like, okay, we worked our way back into it. This is a little bit different because in the, against the Crimson Cliffs last night, it was the Crimson Cliffs that tied it up late in the game. This time it was Reiser who had the late basket, so they have a little bit of the momentum going into overtime.
Well, folks, hope you got your coffee. I know my dad's probably got his coffee right now, drinking and watching this game back home at around 8 a.m. back in Hawaii. It is drama of the highest order. Put 4 more on the clock. 5th quarter in effect. And Copper Hills, as they did for the tip-off of overtime last night, will have the tip-off to start OT this morning. No Jacob Curtis, by the way. He fouled out earlier. Reiser gets it back. Curtis for 3. No, try to chase down his own rebound. And the rebound comes down to Adams. Both teams will be in the bonus as that pass is stolen by McVeigh. Reiser with his head up the floor. Reiser. McVeigh for 3. Cha-ching! And Copper Hills goes back on top to start OT.
Good job by Reiser. You could see he wanted to take that three. He just sent it to overtime, but he decides to give it up for the extra pass, and it pays off.
65-62. Hatfield inside. No. Tip. Copper Hills ball. Isaiah Reiser will bring it up. 13 points, including the bucket that sent us to overtime. He needs 3 more to tie the Falcon Classic scoring record, but Boston Lambourne has just given Copper Hills a 6-point lead, and Nate Carling has seen enough. And John Watkins is fired up as he came off that bench, and every right he should have been. What a start to overtime.
You've got 3 sophomores on the floor for Copper Hills. But who is it that steps up? McVeigh hits the first 3. He's the only senior out there. And then the junior Lambourne, who's had a big second half, carries it into overtime, hits his 4th 3. And so you start to see that leadership. We talk about early in the season, you need to find a way to win. Right now, it's the veteran guys for Copper Hills that are stepping up. And Reiser, you got to give credit to him, just the sophomore. He's been the one who's been creating these looks late in the game, and a good job finding his teammates on these last couple of possessions. You see right there, Lambourne, he just does a little slip screen, goes up top, and Reiser, he's assisted on both 3-pointers in overtime, finds him in rhythm. And that's not always easy. You know, Lambourne slips the screen, he's going away from the basket. Normally, if you're a shooter, you want to be going into your shot. So Lambourne, he's going away from the basket, but he's able to stop, square up, and then from there, you know, he just does what he's been doing this whole second half, knocking down the 3.
That's Lambourne's 5th 3-pointer of this second half. He now has 15 points, all from beyond the property line. And this is Copper Hills close to their largest lead of the game. And Westlake needs a response, and they need one fast. Simon Sua, can he do the job? No. Curtis going up for the rebound, and it's captured by McVeigh.
That was the same play we saw Copper Hills run with Reiser to Lambourne in the corner. That time Westlake, a great play drawn up out of the timeout. It was Simon Sua who got a good look, and he just isn't able to knock it down. But, you know, now this is where you have to get a stop. If it extends to an 8-point game with 2 minutes left, that's going to be tough to come back from. But, you know, if you're Westlake, starts on defense, get a stop, and then from there push the pace. You're going to have enough possessions to get back into the game. You just have to get stops.
So, Tyler, as you said, Copper Hills now, they were in the same situation yesterday. They were up by 15 in the first half, weren't able to hold on. Today they're up by 6 here in overtime. What do you think John Watkins' message is, besides the fact don't turn the bloody ball over, to his team right now in the huddle?
Oh, I think that is the message, is don't turn the ball over. You know, a 35-second shot clock, you can milk it a little bit and then go into your action. You know, get a good look. If you miss, it's okay, but just make sure that you're getting back on defense and you're not letting, you know, easy transition buckets happen for Westlake. So, you know, you can take this down and get a shot off, you know, between the 5 to 10 second range in the shot clock. Whether it's a make or miss, just make sure you get a good look and that you don't give up anything quick.
Isaiah Reiser spinning off a couple of screens. Lambourne on the dribble handoff, gives it to McVeigh. Yeah, we got a foul on Jace Adams on a reach-in, and that's going to put Tyler McVeigh on the free throw line. Again, both teams are in the bonus, and they will be for the rest of the way here at overtime. Jace Adams picks up the foul, his 3rd. McVeigh, who had 16 points last night, steps up and splashes the first, and this equals Copper Hills' largest advantage of the night as Jaden Haight checks back in. Austin Ormond will take a seat, and McVeigh gives Copper Hills their largest lead of the game, and they have not allowed a single point here at overtime. 8-0 here in OT. Adams steps back. They need it. They don't get it. McVeigh the rebound. Under 2 minutes to go. McVeigh sprinting up the floor. Lamborn back to McVeigh. Nate Carling wanted his team just to trap. Now Reiser gets free. Just dribbling around for somewhere to go. Reiser, oh my goodness!
He's so shifty and quick. He's just running circles out there. You see the handles and then the finish. It's double digits.
First double-digit lead anybody's had all day. Tyler, we got to go back and look at that play. I mean, Reiser just looked like he was caught in no man's land.
Well, he's just trying to waste time. You see he's running every which angle, and there's a Thunder player running at him. He just circles around and says, oh, I guess there's a lane to the basket. I may as well go take 2 points. And how many is he
15.
One basket shy?
He is now, yes, he is one basket shy. He is one basket shy of breaking the Falcon Classic record for points in a tournament weekend with 15 points. It's scary to think, Tyler Gibb, Isaiah Reiser, just a sophomore, and you could tell this kid has a really, really bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, I mean, just that play there is a great example of what he's been doing the second half. Is, you know, sometimes young guards like that can get out of control when they're such good ball handlers. The game speeds up. You tend to try to do too much. But that time, you know, he's still in control. He's playing fast, but he's still in control. And great job of keeping his head up. That time he takes the basket himself, but we've seen time and time again in this second half, he's found the open teammate in that situation. So you see he's just having a much better understanding and feel for the game of letting it come to him, whether he needs to take it himself or he needs to find the open guy.
Sua misses the second, but it's tipped off of Tyler McVeigh out of bounds. It'll stay here. That basket, by the way, Tyler, broke a 9-0 run by Copper Hills, but over the last 6 minutes of game time, the last minute of the fourth quarter plus overtime, Westlake, no field goals. Only 1 point this entire overtime. Anderson can't hit that three. Sua, they really need this one. They aren't going to get that one. Reiser trying to chase down the rebound. Sua tries again, leaves it short again. And McVeigh comes up with the rebound. He is fouled. And that will send him to the line for 2 shots.
And it's just unfortunate for Westlake that they, you know, great job crashing the glass. You can see they're playing with that energy they need at the end of the game. It's just for them not able to connect on any of those threes, and they had 3 or 4 good looks on that possession, ones that they're capable of knocking down. Just not able to get any of them to go. And, you know, this is where, all right, you're in desperation mode. You've got to hope that Copper Hills misses free throws. You got to force the pressure and get some turnovers. And really, you can't afford to have many missed shots.
4th foul called on Kyler Hadfield. It's a 10-point game now here. It is 11-1 Copper Hills here at overtime as Sua hits that three, and immediately a timeout is called by Nate Carling. So 73-66 your score now with 1 minute 4 seconds to go. We remind you, coming up next here on the Rewind Sports Network, the continuation of the Falcon Classic. Skyridge takes on Farmington, or Brighton rather, coming up next, and then Harriman plays Farmington, and then the championship game is an all-Region 9 showdown between Crimson Cliffs and Dixie. We also remind you, coming up Tuesday, yes, Tuesday, we have more basketball coming, a triple header of games for you on the Rewind Sports Network, with Copper Hills taking on Nancy Warner and the Lone Peak Knights. The game of the week will be at Brighton as the Bingham Miners travel to the north to take on the Brighton Bengals. And then Jackson Johnson, the Utah commit, leads the Alta Hawks into battle against the West Jordan Jaguars and Colton Blackham. Coverage for all 3 games starts at 7 p.m. next week, Tuesday, on your home for UHSAA basketball, KSLSports.com. Alexander Timolip, Tyler Gibb, fresh out of the car from Layton, I might add, about an hour ago, here at Skyridge High School. I had to throw that in there, Tyler.
Hey, Layton's
You're
off
a
to
Layton
good
graduate.
start.
I had to say it.
Good start for Layton. They're 5-0.
Yes.
played Copper Hills. I believe it was the season opener.
Yeah, and they look good, too. A lot of people think that Kelly Miller's team could be a force to be reckoned with as Isaiah Reiser commits the travel. And so, we're not quite just done yet. 59.4 seconds to go. Still only a 3-possession game. Again, turnover is unfortunate and costly. Cost Copper Hills. Jace Adams for 3. Way short. And unfortunately, Tyler, I don't know if that was the right decision there to take that shot because you still have a lot of time left.
There is a lot of time, and you get the turnover, you need a basket. For Westlake, they just haven't been able to get the 3-ball rolling the same way Copper Hills has. And that's what's been able to separate a lot of this. Copper Hills, they've been able to pull away. Westlake, you need the 3-ball when you're trying to come back from 10 points with a minute left. Simon Sua hit the 1. But if you can get turnovers and turn those into easy, quick 2s, you should do that. But eventually they may need to knock down a 3.
Timeout is called by Copper Hills as they couldn't get the ball inbounded quick enough. And so we'll take a quick break and be back after this word from Allstate. Allstate, proud sponsor of the Falcon Classic. As we bring you back in, Alexander Timop alongside Tyler Gibb for the final 57 seconds here. 52.2 seconds actually here at Skyridge High School here at overtime. Copper Hills has outscored Westlake here in overtime 11-4. They started overtime on an 8-0 run and actually scored the first 11 points before they had Verse Asua. A lot of hand fighting for the ball, and Reiser somehow comes out of the pile with it, and he is fouled with 42.9 seconds to go, and he's going to have a chance to go to the line here.
There's about 3 different times on that steal by Westlake that it looked like they were going to get an open layup. A good tip by the Grizzlies, forces Sua to kind of rush underneath the baseline and throw one back in, and nearly got it inside to Hadfield. But, a good job by Copper Hills to stay with it after the turnover and not give up the easy 2.
And the other thing, Tyler, I don't think Isaiah Reiser has sat for a single minute in this game. And he has just tied the Falcon Classic's all-time scoring weekend record with 70 total points. Sua, they need the 3. They don't get it. Fight for the rebound. Shot clock disabled. Back to Sua. Everybody scrambling. Sloan for 3. That rattles in. McVeigh looking for somebody to get it into, and he did end up getting into Jaden Haight, but a timeout was called with 20.7 seconds left to go.
One of the toughest things about coming back in high school when you're, an 8-point deficit with 30 seconds to go is the clock doesn't stop after a made basket. And so you see Sua makes the 3 with about 30 seconds left to cut it to 5. But by the time, Copper Hills gets to the ball to pass it in and then you start the 5-second count, there's only 20 seconds left. Normally, NBA or college, the clock is going to stop, or at least in the NBA, college, the clock may continue to run. But it's just tough when you're trying to get these quick baskets and eight valuable seconds is ran off when the ball is sitting out of bounds.
Yeah, that can be really tough on you mentally too, Tyler, because as you said, the clock doesn't stop for stoppages like that. I mean, and it forces you into a little bit more pressure because if you're the defense, that means you got to hold it. You got to hold for 5 seconds, but you're also giving up 5 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, and that's why having timeouts late in the game can be valuable to call after a made basket as you stop the clock right away. It saves you about 7. It could save you about 7 or 8 seconds, and it was a good job by McVeigh to kind of walk to the ball to go throw it in. He didn't rush. He wasted about 3 or 4 seconds of the ball just bouncing after the 3.
So McVeigh to get it in. They try to trap Reiser. And that time they almost broke the press, but Ormond turned it over. Adams for 3. Bingo! 2-point game with 10.
They're just wasting the clock.
At 2-point game with 10 seconds to go. Now they got to get it in. McVeigh, they got a foul. They finally do with 3.4 seconds to go.
And just as we talked about, and you have to think that Coach Watkins told his guys, if they make that ball, don't rush to it, let the clock run out. Adams made the three with like 12 seconds, and now all of a sudden they pass it in with 4 seconds, or they pass it in with about 5 or so seconds, and they're going to the line with just 3.
And I believe somebody must have fouled out, or Westlake's just trying to take their time. Nate Carling playing the chess game here. Tyler McVeigh will go to the line. If he makes both of these free throws, for all intents and purposes, this game is finished. But if he misses one or both, the door is ajar for more drama. Well, no pressure then. He misses the first. And the door is ajar. 3 seconds to go. McVeigh's second shot misses. Adams gets up the floor. Adams for the win! Copper Hills wins it in overtime.
Not the finish that Copper Hills had in mind once they took a 10-point lead in overtime, but nonetheless they hold on, and a great job from Westlake to fight back. It was really back and forth. Both teams showed a lot of heart, a lot of grit, and there's great takeaways to come away from this game. At the end of the day, it was just Copper Hills who, hit the big threes and found a way, to shoot the ball a little bit better when they had the opportunities. But, a fantastic game for both teams, fun game back and forth.
And, of course, Simon Sua, no surprise, named to the all-tournament team. But you know who has to be named from the all-tournament team for Copper Hills. You saw him all tournament long. Isaiah Reiser. And believe it or not, Tyler, he is our choice for the Heidemann Associates Player of the Game. The shot that took us to overtime, 16 points. And he ties the all-time scoring record, tournament record for scoring in a weekend with 70 points. He was simply amazing, and he didn't sit today, Tyler, for a single minute in this game.
The thing about Reiser, you say he ties the tournament record for points. Today, while he was impactful scoring the ball and he had the biggest basket of the game to send it to overtime, he was more impactful passing the ball to his teammates and spreading it around. In the stretch in the third quarter when they went from down 4 to up about 7, 8, or 9, he had 3 straight assists on big baskets that were just he left his teammates wide open. And then to start overtime, he had back-to-back assists on 2 big threes. So Reiser showing that he can score the ball, but, hey, I'm not one-dimensional. I can also create for my teammates.
Tyler, I said it yesterday. I'll say it again today. That was a little taste of late February, early March basketball in December. That was fun.
Hey, it's turning into basketball season. As we mentioned, football is winding down a little bit. The best football games are still to come. But, you get into December, and it kind of starts to feel like, hey, basketball is coming into full swing. And what a better, way to lead that off than, an overtime game this morning.
Well, enjoy the rest of your day, folks. Find some time with your family today, or spend some time with the kids outside, or build a snowman, or throw some snowballs at each other, or just stay inside and do nothing all day. We don't care. But enjoy the rest of your day, folks. Thank you so much, Tyler. That was really, really fun. And, hey, that was our first overtime game we called together.
That's right. Normally we get in blowouts. We've had a few close games.
Well, the last 2 games we've gotten now have been close games, so that's a good thing. But thank you to Vince Francis for helping us. Thank you to Rob Geertsen all weekend long for their help with the tournament. Congratulations to Copper Hills. They win it, coming back in overtime, 74-72. For Tyler Gibb and Rob Geertsen and Vince Francis, I'm Alexander Timolip. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, folks. And we'll see you next time for another presentation of KSLSports.com's coverage of Copper Hills basketball presented by Ken Garff Automotive Dealers. Until we meet again, folks, take care of one another. Have a good day. Enjoy your weekend. Aloha from Utah. And we'll see you next time.